The walls surrounding this table, all the way to the ceiling, are covered in horns, teeth, bones.
Is my fucking horn there?
And in the center of this, almost surrounded by it, is this very long minotaur.
You cunt. I'm gonna walk up.
You motherfucker.
I hate you. I'm gonna blow out the fucking candles.
Oh my god.
He's holding his breath.
I'm blowing out the fucking candles. I'm gonna go grab my fucking horn. With my hammer. I'm gonna fucking knock it down.
Hey everybody, welcome to Atania and Wither and Bloom Studios. I am Todd, your DM, and we are ready to play some D&D tonight.
Woo! Hell yeah.
I guess.
It sounded a little underwhelming.
Let's fucking roll! That is more than I normally give.
I know, I appreciate that. Everybody else was kind of low.
You're welcome.
You were above board.
Yo,
I have a cookie.
What's all this buzzing about?
That was so bad.
I'm trying to ignore that. So, let's do a
That
quick
was
recap
bad.
of last week's session, and we will jump right into this. So, in last week's session,
Cliffhanger.
we kind of had a little bit of a cliffhanger, but we saw the party break camp with the two Orogs and the goblins, travel south up until about lunchtime, when Remy decided to sort of wander off into the woods and see if she could find some pomelos. When in fact she encountered a very large stag, one we saw in episode 3, if I'm not mistaken, which you can't go back and watch because we never recorded that, so I'm sorry. Anyway,
Wayback Machine's broken.
the stag approaches and points towards an amulet on her chest, which she has worn for a long time, and it grows warm. She grabs a hold of it, and something happens. Now, I don't want to say anything about that because some members of this party haven't actually watched the episode yet and don't know.
Wow. We didn't wanna
Not my problem.
fucking spoil it.
No metagame.
Anyway, you
ourselves.
might find out in this episode what happened. That being said, the party goes to find her because she's missing. They encounter the stag. Thrud wrestles the stag to the ground. Quickly, it transforms into a male druid who clearly outnumbers them in terms of level and ability. And they let him go.
I did have a good chokehold on him, though. Loser.
Yes,
Wow.
Thrud really had this guy. Okay. They head back to the encampment, finish a lunch, and Remy reveals to Tryphon at the very end that she was contacted by her mother in that event that took place. So we hope to find out some more about that right now.
Okay, so I need to wrap my head around this. What did she, she's alive.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
You don't know if she's alive?
This was
What happened?
I'm just gonna look around at all of the other goblins in this area and everybody else, and then I'm just gonna look back at Tryphon.
I know. Gross.
You do not
I'm
want
not talking about it here. Or ever, for the matter.
I mean, we were told a bunch of different things. It's not really what we were told, is it?
By this point, I would assume that Thrud has traipsed through the woods and is coming out into the clearing, into the encampment area.
You have all made it back
I
from
was kinda
the
limping a bit.
chase. Yes.
That was hurting.
Can you disclose any more of what happened? What did she say?
The entire group of goblins in her hand?
Do you want to
You're
take a
talking
walk?
again? You're back? from wherever it was you were catatonic in? Who is that person with the stag head?
What do you mean person with the stag head?
The one that you told me not to hurt, and I did not hurt them, but they were almost ready to pound us.
They were a person?
They eventually, once I dragged them to the ground, yes, they became a person.
Who were they?
They did not say. They would not tell me. It was not of my concern. But
Was
they
it
said,
a woman?
no, it was a man.
What do you look like?
Darkish hair, human,
Freckles, green eyes.
freckles, green eyes.
Ring any bells?
Thyla
Very powerful druid.
kind of like reaches up, yanks a big ass thorn from their armpit, and kind of like throws it to the ground.
Rose.
Takes one out of their abdomen, throws it to the ground.
You were.
Oh my god.
Okay. Now shake it twice.
I did already.
Any more than that, you're playing with yourself.
You were told you were in danger.
You don't know that. I said that to Cersei in there.
You almost got me.
You did say last
I
episode.
did. Man, I apparently threw down the gauntlet and administered the challenge.
So, lunch is starting to break up. The goblins begin to break camp, which is quick. It's not a huge camp. You guys just basically cook.
So did we did we get a
Would
short
we have
rest?
gotten-
Oh
short
yeah,
rest?
you'd have gotten a short rest. Yep, you can take a hit die if you want to,
No.
or as many as you want to.
This whole time, as she's refused to eat, Cersei's been like trying to spoon feed most of her food. Like, come on.
With
Cersei's
like the
still in a
reluctant,
fuss.
like,
Exactly. Like, come on, like you gotta eat. You gotta eat something.
Okay. Lunch concludes. The rest of you get back on the trail just like you had been. The two Orogs one is in the front, and one takes up the rear with 4 of the goblins in the back, 4 in the front. So it's a 5-and-5 situation with you guys all in between. About another 3 hours goes by. The landscape, for the most part, stays the same. All right? And you've noticed that the fields to the right, which are now, like I said before, really overgrown with vegetation, you start to think about this. It looks like it's farmland. But in an area that is so fertile and farmable and with so much wealth that has been generated from farming, you can't help but wonder, what happened here? Why is this untended? Why is this is this even owned by anybody? That being said, you eventually begin to the trail begins to turn to the left and almost sort of ducks into this forest area. Now, not a dense forest. This is just a sort of thinly wooded area, that's a better description. And all of a sudden you see a town. But the town is immediately evident as abandoned. All the buildings in this town, number one, are made of stone. And a lot of the wooden roofs that are on them have either caved in or collapsed. There's one building that you see right away that looks like an entire portion of the second floor has just been obliterated. The stone is all broken and open and exposing it. And there almost appears to be no one around until you look a little bit closer. And you notice there's a house over there, 3 houses down on the left, and you see smoke. A little bit of smoke coming out of the chimney. You smell what appears to be cooking somewhere. And then you notice that in one house you see 2 goblins walk out. They kind of like look over and they gesture in your direction as the party and the group come walking into the town. And so you realize, oh, I've never even heard of this place before. This is a town that's long fallen off the map. Okay? I would say all in all, there's 14 houses or buildings in this town, all in a variety of disheveled mixes. One stands out as being a little bit better kept at the end of the road. Almost looks like there's been some repairs. There's one patch of stone that almost looks like it's been sort of freshly patched on the house, as if some attempt to make it better were employed. As you come into town, you are led towards that very house. Now, in front of that house, the road, which isn't a road, okay? First of all, let's be clear. It's more dirt pack and not well tended at all. So there are areas where it's cracked open. There are areas where there are puddles. There are rocks sticking up and through it. But it does sort of appear like the road that once ran through town. You all gather in front of this last house. Yeah.
Are there any old signs that look like they were part of the town when it was, hustling and bustling? And are they legible?
There aren't any signs necessarily, like the type of sign you'd see, like a sign that points in different directions and says this town is this far away, this town is that far away.
Right. Like
There are clearly a couple of buildings that look like they have a piece of wood jutting out of the stone that might have held a sign at one time.
Right.
But this town doesn't look like it's been lived in at least 50 years.
Yeah.
So not recently abandoned.
It's a specific number. Do these
Did you
signs
forget who you're dealing with?
say anything?
What?
Do these signs
There are no signs. They look like they used to hold
Motherfucker.
signs, but
Gotcha,
there's nothing.
Understood.
Hey, boys. Talking to the big guys. What can you tell us about this place?
So you're up in the front of the group. You're all kind of coming to a stop right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Targhead turns around and he looks at you and he's just like, used to be called Gleanersville.
Fuck.
It was
Gleanersville.
some kind of farm town.
Gleanersville.
Have I ever heard of it before?
I'm expecting to hear a horse now.
You know what? You probably would have heard of Gleanersville given where you're from. Yes.
Yeah.
I can give you a little bit of history if you like. Roll a history check for me. I'll tell you how much you know about it.
I'd love to. That's a solid 2.
Oh.
Solid 2. The most
dice
you
are
know about
betraying me.
Gleanersville is that you had heard of it 1 or 2 times. You had never been there, and you knew that it was an abandoned place. That's
Nice.
going to be about it.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Smart.
This slightly more put together house that's at the end of the street that you all stop in front of. And as Targhead is talking to you, the front door of it opens up. And there is this leather-clad, very well put together goblin who's got this incredible mohawk on his head. Not unlike your hair, it is fully colored. Like it goes from like an orange to a purple. And he almost wears like makeup. Like he's almost made up. You can see that he's got some kind of facial treatment. He comes out and you immediately recognize him and he sees you. And he kind of walks up and he's like, Tryfin, how's my boy?
Great. Doing great.
Oh boy.
Druid walks over.
So you got
Nice
yourself
makeup.
So you got yourself an appendage there, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, you too. A little crispy, huh?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I bet we will.
What were you going to say?
Druid just kind of walks over and kind of puts
Those are fighting.
half of her shoulder in front of Tryfin's, just to get in between the two of them a little bit, and make sure things stay cool. Huh?
Yeah.
So I heard you joined the group, eh?
You could say that.
Finch told me all about it.
Yeah.
I got to say, when I told you worked for me now, I was right, wasn't I?
I did it because I wanted to. Not because you told me to.
Hey, look, no hard feelings, all right? You're on the right side.
Of course
You're on
not.
the right side. It's good. It's good. You're going to be okay.
Look, I'm up here. You can't talk down to me.
I'm just gonna kind of walk up from behind and just put a hand up on
It's
Tryfin's
nice.
shoulder.
Tryfin enjoys feeling his friends support him.
Just kind of.
See, you got good people around you.
I do.
Is he still a bit gold?
I do
Little
have.
rub.
He is still a little bit gold, yes.
Nice.
I do have great people around me.
Dyla approaches tentatively. I don't believe we've had the pleasure.
Who are you, anyway?
They call me Thyla. I'm a guide around these parts.
How do you know them? I didn't hear about you.
Well,
A little bit of a, chauffeur.
He kind of turns
Indeed.
and looks at Targhead, and he's like, he kind of like gestures at Thyla. He's just like,
although, based on conversations with these here, I believe that certain goals may be a little more aligned than we realize.
so you're not a member of the Velvet Sky?
No, not officially. But that could be to your advantage.
All right, we'll talk. You here now?
And your boys saved our asses.
They're good at that, aren't they?
Yes,
You
they
got
are.
yourself in a spot, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ebony Blossom,
Mm.
to be specific.
Yeah, they're a pain in the ass in these parts.
They did want to see our wrists, so, it was fortunate that your friends were there when they were. I believe they were sent along to keep an eye on us.
So you were on the road.
Yes, we are on our way to Corey,
Okay, so one way to avoid them,
just to stay off the road.
stay off the road.
Sure, but we had a thing to do, which we still have to do. But Targa had suggested to us that we have a little bit of retribution for you. So there's you have a problem with some dead things, yes?
Well, we got some issues which I'll talk to you about. You must be hungry or thirsty after your journey, eh? You want to step inside, have a meal, something to eat? Turns and looks at two of the goblins and he's like, "Hey, get the cook on for them. Come on, let's go." Two of the goblins scurry into the house that he stepped out of, and you quickly hear the rattling of, cast iron in the building as I guess things are starting to get going.
Better than what they were cooking on the road.
Oh, what, you mean like the provisions?
Yeah, these.
What you want? I'll cook you up something nice.
I don't know what you got.
You got a chode?
Holy fuck.
That's not what I've been told, but I bet you do.
Oh my god!
You want to find out?
It does not matter how long it is, as long as it touches the sides. Can we move on, please?
That's a spirit. Proof that.
That's
Come
my
in.
dad.
Oh my god.
He's like chode
Give me a
bride.
thing.
Can I get the check, please?
Get them set
chode
up in
check?
the one over there. Give him a nice place.
Good
to
check.
Check the girth check. Pulls out a measuring tape.
Yo, what gauge is that?
Corkscrew, baby.
Help me. And it goes off the rails. And
Fucking walk away.
So we're having lunch with the fucking goblin.
The
So we
fucking
heard you need us
Stop.
to do something. Clear out a thing.
Yeah, well, come on in. Come on inside. And Proof is going to have a nice place made up for you so you get a good night's rest. We'll go in my place, we'll have a meal. I'll get you oriented with what I need you to do. And we'll talk about next steps. What do you say? Come on up.
That seems fair.
What time of day is it?
Oh, I'm going right in.
It's easily evening. It's pushing 4:35 o'clock.
Sound of a
And
good.
I
what
wanna-
am
I'm
I-
following.
what is the-
I'm following Brandmore.
What is
Okay.
the ground made of?
Well, like I said, it's hard-packed dirt, but it's not very well kept up as a road, so it's uneven. It's got rocks sticking up out of it.
Would I be able to try to slip away? Not far. Just
your nose again.
around the side of the building.
Every episode.
You could try with a good stealth
fucking
check.
nose
Go
out.
ahead.
I want to try. Every episode.
I will say this. Please realize that you have somewhere between 8 to 12 goblins scurrying about doing things.
And
you
It's not-
also
Circe
have...
is hovering.
Okay, Circe's
I'm
hovering.
not trying to completely evade. I'm just trying to not bring attention to me.
Okay.
If somebody were
I'm
to
just going to
see
roll
me-
to see if someone notices you going. So
Okay.
go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
Ooh, I got a disadvantage. I gotta roll
So-
one more time.
Could I roll my
Damn,
perception
okay.
against that? And then you roll
That's
for
only
everyone
gonna be a 10.
Okay. Well, then that's an exact 10 because I have a +4 in perception.
So it's 10 versus a 10.
Yeah.
Can I roll?
Bruh.
Why?
Is someone who just
Holy
also
moly.
noticed you run away?
No, let's move the narrative.
Can I roll
Yeah,
percent-
yeah.
Let's move it forward.
See what you do.
So, Circe does kind of notice that you're slinking a little bit, but what Circe also notices is the two goblins who see you working your way towards the side of the building. So,
Right.
as they are kind of following you around the side of the building,
I'm
Circe.
gonna sort of slide in front, go and just follow behind her, and then just follow behind.
So, you're trying to stop the goblins from going with her?
Yeah, I just
You can
Follow
roll
her into an
persuasion or
alleyway.
intimidation, whichever you like.
Persuasion. Wait.
Persuasion? Fair enough.
They're checking.
Oh. That's a 9?
Oh boy. They're gonna laugh at you.
They kind of like sneer and they just kind of keep going.
Alright, well, I'm just following her, but ahead of them.
You seem to have a
Isn't
parade.
crazy. Awesome. Like the goblins are following me?
Well, they're just kind of curious. They're not like right behind you, but you know, you're going.
Are they men?
Are they men?
Presentingly.
What does the sex matter?
Can't assume.
Well, I mean, goblins aren't exactly difficult to figure out gender by glancing, but you're
Okay.
not really sure.
So I'm gonna look at them and be like, why are you following women?
They kind of like recoil a little bit, and they're like,
Carry on.
"We have orders to keep an eye on you."
You can keep an eye on me from inside.
I'm sorry.
There's a window.
That's true. Plus, also, I'm here, so please leave.
They kind of like turn and look at each other. Go ahead and roll a persuasion or intimidation check.
Can
Not
I offer
that deep!
help action with what I added?
No, you already rolled.
Persuasion or intimidation? That's a 19.
Okay, they kind of like
Nice.
look at each other and shrug their shoulders, and they back off a little bit, and you don't quite see them, so we'll move forward.
Cool.
I am just gonna like kind of kneel down on the ground, and I want to put my I'm putting my hands in the dirt. I want to try to put my hands in the dirt, and I want to try in her like mental state that she's in, trying to go back and remember what the heck was his name? Narenfey? Remembering that moment with him. But she's not going to put her face in the dirt.
Kind of hilarious. Though.
Okay, so you're just kneeling with your hands,
Hands in the dirt, kind of in like a meditative state.
Okay. I would say that, you have the book on some of the mechanics of the True Children and the history of the True Children, and you sort of were taught by a couple of them as well. And as you place your hands in the dirt and sort of settle in, there is something. There is a kind of like an energy that you feel. And you kind of feel a little bit like it's not enough. Like you begin to sort of feel a surge, but then the communicative barrier drops. This could be because your face is not.
What if I were to put like my forehead on the ground? But not like in the dirt.
Go ahead.
I put my forehead on the ground.
Things become a little bit clearer. You hear the voices of entities, beings, begin to sort of press through your headspace, and for a moment you almost recoil a little bit, recalling the damage that you took from the last encounter. But this is okay. This feels a little bit gentler.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna... The only thing that I'm gonna be kind of putting out there is I'm gonna be calling for my mom.
Mother.
So you fill your head with thoughts of your mother, and you imagine yourself speaking to her through these voices. Nothing.
What's like the overall like energy when I'm in this space? Like, does it feel positive?
It feels almost indifferent. There's nothing in this space that is aggressive towards you, and there is nothing that makes you come away from it feeling like you've just had a good meditation.
Okay.
It's almost inert in some way. Even though it's not, there's like nothing to it that maybe swings a mood.
Okay, the last thing I want to try, and then I'll pick myself up, is I want to take one hand out of the dirt, and I want to hold on to the amulet.
Okay.
If that changes anything.
So you clasp the amulet, and you remember the very sort of palpable warmth that the amulet had when you grasped it yesterday or earlier today. That's not there right now. The only warmth with the amulet right now is the warmth from it resting against your body. There's no arcane kind of warmth right now.
Okay.
So it almost appears to be dormant.
Okay, then Remy would give up
Okay.
And,
in this moment.
and as she sits up, Sirius is like, you can get what you need.
No.
It's all right. You can try again.
And forgive me for forgetting this, but what is the druid's primary casting ability based on? Is it wisdom?
Wisdom.
Can you make a wisdom check for me?
Oh,
Face
check.
Holy fuck.
Cricks, what's
Like-
for dinner?
Like a saving?
No, we'll check.
Okay.
Sure.
Is this a like magical or magical effect or spell?
No.
Okay.
Maybe in the next
18.
appetite
18. Okay, so what we're going to do is
Was it a saving throw or just a check?
It's a check.
Okay, so then an 18. Yeah.
It's a check. Hang on a minute. I just want to... And I will answer Branmore, and I will tell you what's for dinner
Sorry.
momentarily. I just need
That
to do
news was
one
wicked,
thing
brother. I
really
gotta
quickly.
figure it out.
Oh, Lord.
Dude, Crix is like hospitality is grossing me out.
You motherfucker.
Can I read you?
Food.
Don't do that.
You said an 18?
Don't fucking
All right. Now, back to the rest of the party, who all have, for the most part, with the exception of who followed Remy out to the back. I know Cersei did. You went inside.
Yeah.
All right.
I just want to, as I pass the goblins, when I leave, I kind of just want to like scoff at them if they were still hovering over.
Actually,
me.
they
left.
They're gone.
Okay, never mind.
So
Carry on.
inside, Crix is sort of moving about, opening some cupboards and taking some stoneware plates out and placing that on the table.
Dude,
You guys have settled around a large table that's in the middle of the dining area, and over a big open area fire pit that's there. He's got a big old pot that's on an iron hook that's sort of starting to bubble away over there as it warms up. He kind of looks around and he's like, "I got wine, but that's all I got. You wine okay?"
Yes, please.
Sure.
That's fine.
So he begins pouring off a few goblets of wine.
I'm gonna pass.
There are a couple of interesting smells in the house.
I'm taking
Okay,
the
there is a-
bottle.
What?
I want the bottle.
You're still outside.
When I get in.
Question.
We're taking 2 bottles.
Can I make some form of perception or insight check on these smells? If there's
Yeah, why don't you go
anything
ahead and give me the
else?
roll, and I'll describe what you all smell, and then I'll give you any further information.
Okay.
So of course
Perception?
there is, yes, the smell is of the food, primarily, because you're in the kitchen. But there is another smell that seems to permeate through, and it is
Stop it,
almost
I'm
weirdly floral, or
Maybe I do that. Have someone pet my
it's got something fragrant to it.
Hey, Todd.
Yeah,
21.
Why is it a joke?
It's not the same sulfury smell.
not at all.
Okay.
Far from it. The sulfury smell used to make your eyes water. This reminds you of some kind of incense.
Anything recognizable?
Not necessarily. You also notice this as a kind of incense. Something either from a shrine or...
I look at Creeks and are you having some type of a ritual or trying to cover up another smell?
Oh, you like that, eh?
Yes, I'm curious about it.
It's like you and me, we got something in common. We both holy men, so we...
Men?
Sorry, my bad. We got some, religious holy artifacts upstairs, so it's just my thing.
What type of artifacts? These things that you've carried for a while, or you recently acquisitioned?
Well, no, this is where I live, so, this is where I talk to my deity. If,
Which is? Out of curiosity.
Do say, sis.
Question.
I'll tell the DM when to move on.
I'm trying to keep playing.
Question.
What was it you said last week? Restaffing? Anyway, go ahead.
I didn't say that.
May I make
didn't say to kick you out.
a
That's
religion
what I said.
check? Because to me, Addie, that doesn't seem like that's not something I recognize.
Right.
Could I make some form of roll to see if it might be something that Thyla would recognize?
You could, but just like in any check in this game, if you're not proficient in religion,
I'm not.
so then I could make the check for you.
Yeah. I like that.
So you're pretty sure you know who this is?
Is it a god of something or some?
You have a sneaky suspicion that this is not. Well, I wouldn't say sneaky suspicion. If you know who it is, then you are pretty certain that this is a god of some kind of ill or evil doing.
Duly noted.
To be fair,
Yes.
so that you're fully aware of how those checks work. When I roll for your perception, you might not be getting accurate information. You might be, or you might not be.
Okay.
Because remember, when we think we know something, we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
But oftentimes we think we know what we don't know.
Aye, Captain.
Who is this is?
Huh?
Who is this is?
This is the Dunning-Kruger effect all the way.
Oh, yes.
All right, so...
Interesting.
So?
Well, it does smell rife with ritual in here, so I understand you would like to continue that worship and ritual, but we do have some business to take care of in Corey and would like to settle up with you and your team. So, what is it that you need us to do?
Well, and as he goes into the talk about this, the two other goblins that are in there cooking food begin to serve things out. It looks like a big old pot of some kind of stew or gruel. It's not fancy by any means, but it's certainly better than what you had on the road. I know. I wanted to give you something lavish, but it just wouldn't fit.
There's fresh radish on it. How does that sound?
So,
it's better than what we had on the road. So
Truth.
okay, so he kind of turns to you and he says, all right, so I've got this issue with a former recruit of mine. Her name's Lavina. She's vanished. Now, sort of like our friend over here who, you know, got a nice favor in a little bit of a second shot at life, and then was supposed to stay loyal and work for me, and then vanished. Which, by the way, I've been looking for you, but we'll let that go since now you're here. Lavina.
I'm gonna turn the through. I'm gonna punch this. I want to punch him right now in the face.
Just
right
go
now.
for a walk. Take a deep breath and go for a walk.
I'm gonna go upstairs. Can I go upstairs?
You can get up and go upstairs if you want.
I'm
Sure.
taking my cat with me.
So as you say that, and you get up from the table with the cat.
I'm gonna, as I get up, like literally, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get up.
Crix just kind of like, Crix kind of smiles. And you get up and you
Yeah,
find your way.
I'm gonna look for his room.
Yeah, well, you do find a stairway that will take you upstairs.
Yeah.
All right. So in the distance, you kind of hear these feet going up the stairs.
The hoof falls. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
So Crix is like, so Lavina is taken up in this sort of a network of tunnels that's underneath the old temple. And well, let's just say she had some skills when it came to animating the dead. And so she decided to populate that place with some of her own creations. and I want her back. So what I want you to do for me is go get her.
Alive?
You want to know what? No. I can take care of her when she gets back here.
Excellent.
You'll know her because she is number one. You familiar with what a tiefling is?
Indeed.
Okay. Well, she's going to be the only one you've ever seen with one horn.
Ah. Duly noted.
You do seem to have a proclivity for removing appendages. Was this action taken by you, perhaps?
And almost as Thrud asks that question, it's almost like the scene goes through a dissolve into Tryphon going up the stairs.
Where's his
into
room?
His house. This is not a big house. Okay. And as you go up the stairs, you notice that the smells get stronger.
Disgusting.
You come around the bend into what appears to be almost the entire second floor as one bedroom, right? And in the corner, you spot the most absurd thing. Corner of the room, window to the right, there is a small, thin table covered in this old black tattered cloth. On top of the table, there are 5 candles, all of which are lit. In the center of which is a metal censer that's just a little bit of smoke is just billowing out, and gravity's pulling it down
Some witch shit.
onto the table. It gets better. The walls surrounding this table, all the way to the ceiling, are covered in horns, teeth, bones. of
Is
all
my fucking
kinds.
horn there?
And in the center of this, almost surrounded by it, is this very long minotaur.
You cunt. I'm gonna walk up.
You motherfucker.
I hate you. I'm gonna blow out the fucking candles.
He's holding his breath.
I'm blowing out the fucking candles. I'm gonna go grab my fucking horn with my hammer. I'm gonna like fucking knock it down.
You're
Look at how happy he is.
Oh. Just.
This is.
No.
We really did never leave Strahd
Yeah.
because just like Strahd, we're all making impulsive decisions when it comes to religious altars.
No.
I am so scared.
Listen, I didn't do anything. That was the least harmful thing I could have done to the altar.
No, there's actually the
blew out
most
the
harmful.
candles.
There's the most harmful.
I wanted to kick it over, but I didn't want to burn the place down.
Touch it.
You walk up to this altar, blow out the candles, and as you blow it, the censer's smoke just kind of like billows away as a bunch of smoke now from the burning candles extinguished is rising into the air.
Yeah.
You reach up
idiot.
and grab a hold of
With my hammer.
with your hammer and get it behind the horn. You begin to pry it off the wall, and it's actually not held up on the wall with too much. There looks to be like a leather strap in 2 spots that's just tacked through the plaster in the walls. And so you pull this off the wall, and as it comes off, some of the plaster cracks, and a couple of the bones that are surrounding it, and they're actually really arranged really nicely, begin to sort of fall off and clink and clank onto the floor. You now have your old horn in your hand.
And I'm gonna, as I kind of like pull it off the wall, I'm just gonna kind of like turn around,
No.
and like I have this moment, you know, Tryphon just kind of like sits for a second and really like processes all that's happened. And you know, there's a chink in the armor a little bit. You know, it gets a little weak for a second. He's just like, you know, there's a lot of thoughts going on in his head. Can't believe I let that happen. You know, like a lot's happened since that time, and I'm gonna kind of like get myself back together. Kind of like press the horn back up to like the side of my face a little bit. Almost give it like a little hug, because I've been working on that with the cat. I've hugged the cat a lot. I'm gonna kind of hug the horn for a second. Give it a little, put it back in the bag. I'm gonna like take a deep breath. Do I see a bed?
You do.
No, no.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna go up to
no.
the bed. I'm gonna pull the covers over.
You're gonna Amber
I'm gonna
Heard
put
it.
my cat on the bed. I'm gonna tell it to pee.
Oh, it's better than what you said you were gonna do.
That's.
Does the cat pee on command?
This is the first time.
That was crazy.
Animal handling.
Roll an animal handling check.
You know what? You know how? So here's what happens. Tryphon, he's like, he says pee, and the cat just kind of looks at him, and then Tryphon is gonna kind of like stand there and like.
I don't like this happening next to me.
Roll an animal handling check.
Jesus Christ.
Please roll a natural 20.
No.
Oh no.
Animal handle. It's gonna be a.
What's going on?
1 second.
Have inspiration?
No.
Inspiration?
Did you say
That was terrible.
inspiration?
That was
It's gonna be a 10.
That was terrible.
A 10?
Yeah.
No.
I had plans for like a 2, and I had plans for like a 16. 10, the cat just kind of like looks at you, but you know the cat's loyal to you.
Can I demonstrate how to pee?
Be my guest.
I'm gonna do that.
Are you going to pee?
On his
No,
bed.
I'm gonna like.
Whip your dick
I honestly like. I don't want to pull my dick out in front of this cat, but
Oh my god!
but I'll.
Please isolate that.
Stop.
I'm writing it down.
You might
I'm gonna
accidentally-
like. I'm gonna bend
Okay.
over like a cat on the bed and just like lift up my leg or something.
This is so fucked up.
That's not.
I know what's opening this episode. Anyway,
As I'm demonstrating how to be a cat peeing, I'm just gonna whisper, "Please fucking pee. Please fucking pee. Pee on the bed right now. Pee on this bed."
as you sort of lift your leg up over the bed and you kind of like are there, the cat comes over and it starts putting itself on you and it's purring and it's walking around. Roll the animal handling check again.
Why are you doing this? I'm talking to the cat. Why? Come on, baby.
Help.
Okay, we're getting better. 13.
A 13. You probably didn't realize this before, but the cat actually has a raging case of worms. And so as it's rubbing up against you, it kind of tweaks its back a little bit, probably in such a fashion that it begins to just maybe push one worm out that becomes a little bit itchy, and it slams its ass down onto the bed and just begins doing this like rotation. And,
I'm gonna
like, scooting
immediately
along.
get off the bed as I watch this happen. I'm gonna just like get off the bed. You did great. You're doing great, but I can't look at this.
I mean, the bed, to be clear, even with all of Crix's primping and, you know, sort of
Wormy.
made upness, the bed is
Oh,
not
no.
exactly a pristine, clean bed.
That's fine.
But you do notice that the cat leaves a little bit of a mark.
You're doing really great. I'm gonna give you this treat here.
A worm mark.
Treat's like a
Mark is
ration.
a great name for the
Cats.
cat.
Mark is a great name
Oh
for
my
the
god, have you
cat.
named the cat
The
yet?
cat hasn't been named yet.
Call it skid mark.
The cat.
Skid!
I almost want to call him Worm.
Worm.
I might name him Worm.
That's much less funny.
We'll think about it.
He jumps up
Skid.
onto your shoulder and nuzzles you a little bit.
You did really good.
How
You know, you told
long
me what
are your
flavors we have.
horns?
My horns are
Flavors.
I don't know.
Try it.
about yay, so about over like a foot, almost a foot.
Probably more like 18 inches
Yeah,
or so,
yeah.
like, you know, like about this?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in your bag, right?
3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But not sticking up out of your bag.
No.
Okay. Okay. Your move.
Is there anything else in the room that looks of interest?
Roll an investigation check for me.
Fuck this guy, dude.
While you're doing that, the rest of you are downstairs and you're still talking.
Are we inside
to-
yet?
Oh, yes, you're inside. Yes. You're talking to Crix, having a meal.
I didn't mean
We're
it.
splitting a
I
bottle
didn't
of
mean
wine.
it. I didn't
Yeah.
mean it. Where
Oh,
did-
yeah, he's got
It's
a couple
on the
bottles.
floor somewhere. I have no fucking idea.
Do you
It
want
rolled off of my leg and went that way.
to take
No,
this
it's
wine
that
and
way.
explore
That
some
way.
building?
I have no idea.
She's pretty out of it.
Oh. Is that what I think it is?
Are
What?
you fine if I leave you here?
You roll it again.
It's
You
an
can't
18.
take a floor die.
You cannot take a
I'll
floor
find
die.
you.
Is
it 'cause I
called
I'll find you.
Maybe.
Oh, you're a chode for that one, dude. You're a chode for that one.
Ew.
You threw the die at me.
Don't be talking disparagingly as if chode is a insult.
A 5. I mean, you look around the room, and there are, you know, some normal things that you might expect to find. You know, some basic clothing. There is a set of armor. You do find a dagger in the top dresser drawer. Doesn't look to be anything exquisite. Pair of boots. And this shrine, which I'm going to put a picture of on the screen, by the way.
Yeah. Is there anything interesting with the shrine itself or the cacophony of horns behind it?
In what way?
Are there any horns that stick out like mine did?
There are other elements here other than just horns. Like I said, tusks and teeth and horns. But there are also bones, and there are also skulls. As a matter of fact, in the center of the shrine is one fairly large skull that has both horns attached to it.
Ooh.
What animal does it look like?
It looks to be some kind of bull or... it has a familiarity to it, I'm not going to lie.
Can I poke it?
It's
Poke it.
bone.
Yeah, with my hammer.
You want to poke it?
Yeah.
It's bone. It is a skull. There's, I'm going to jump downstairs to the rest of this party for a minute, just so I don't. Okay.
Yeah, before the wraith comes out.
Think about what you want to do here. So you're back down with Crix, and he's talking about Lavina and where it is that you need to go. So it's a temple called the Sanctum of Guitar.
Guitar?
Etar.
What's Itar the god of?
Well, that I don't know. You seem to be pretty interested in the gods.
I'm just
Funky like that.
supposedly attempting to garner a understanding of the divine flavor of this whole shindig.
It's not really going to be of interest necessarily because, again, the temple, abandoned. The catacombs under the temple once were abandoned. And we're going to be looking to use that as one of our transfer houses for shipping goods.
I see.
So we do have a little bit more to accomplish here than just getting Lavina out, if you know what I mean.
I see.
So the goal is clear it, right? Bring me Lavina, and if you kill her, I want her whole because I can't really bring her back to life if she doesn't really have much to her, if you know what I mean. So do it gently.
Fair
right?
point.
She's not going to go easy, and she's got powers, so it might be in your best interest, to take her down, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Remy's
Sure.
not really listening.
Okay.
She's like dissociated.
Gotcha.
How far is by this temple?
What's that?
Do you
How
need
far
a
away
fall?
is?
Half
you
a
need to
day's
go back?
travel?
Shit's sick.
Now, you said you had something to do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
What's it you've got to do?
We have something to deliver.
Two.
That's
Quarry.
in Corey.
All right. That's not far. It's like, the Sanctum of Etar was like, I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours from Corey.
So how's about this? We go complete their delivery. We'll go to the sanctum. On our way back here, clear it out, deal with this Vina, and then bring her back to you.
Well, I'd encourage it because you got to maybe stock up. Go to Corey, get yourself some supplies.
Indeed. I know my way around the city. I can take us to wherever we need to go in order to prepare.
Are you from the area?
Not in the slightest. But I've stayed here for a while.
All right. You know anything about Gleanersville?
Not off the top of my head. All I know is that it was abandoned some of years ago, and I've never really set foot here before.
We've been here for 2 years. Haven't seen a soul.
Have you investigated the houses? Looked for any secrets?
Sure. Didn't find much other than a bunch of turtle shells.
Huh.
What do you mean by that?
The size of these turtle
What do you
shells?
mean by that, Todd?
Gargantuan. Not gargantuan, but like bigger than me.
What do you mean by that, Todd?
I'm sorry, I'm Crix.
Sorry, I'm just speculating.
Now, somebody told me it had something to do with some turtle war. Something about, sounds ridiculous. It's like 60, 50, 60 years ago.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
The turtle?
The Turtle War.
Are they Galapagos?
Yeah, that's it.
So, can I do a history check on this?
You can do a history check on this.
This seems to be
Remember, you
the
could
bait.
all roll a history check. And you're not allowed to
sick,
bring in
dude.
any of your Daggerheart experience.
Fine.
I'm not rolling one.
I'm
This
rolling.
seems-
Should I roll?
Exactly.
Because I'm
like
having
the
this
bait.
conversation.
Oh my
with
god,
him.
I got a nat 20 plus 2!
Okay,
Are you
yes.
kidding though?
You
Nat
could-
20!
you could
I
roll.
would have, when I heard the war, I got like flash.
The war?
Nat 20 plus 2,
Nat
22.
20 plus 2.
18.
18.
Holy shit, my
It's-
first. That's my first nat 20 in a
7.
minute.
It's
Seven?
history.
Staying
I
out
know
of
nothing.
17.
You know nothing. Oh, that's
No,
right.
from
You
here.
yeah, you would know nothing.
17.
Yeah, you're
17.
just like pretty shapes and colors.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's fairly common knowledge to most people that have been born and raised in Emberfell that there was a supposed war with a race of turtle humanoids known as Galapa. And this war took place because the Galapa's land was in demand from the Thanes, who wanted to farm fertile land on a peninsula to the south, which frankly you guys have been traveling south. You don't know how far away you are from that land, but the Galapa population was spread fairly wide, and the war was 8 years long, and so it took place over a large portion, not a large portion, but a significant portion of the continent. So all of you would know at least that, right? I'm trying to think what your 22 would earn you in this, and I would have to say that you would know that there's a couple of rumors that you would know, and you've probably heard this because you know, honestly, you've lived a little bit of a sheltered life where you're from, right? You've been a little
Read
bit,
a lot of books.
but you've read a lot of books, yes, and that's what I was going to say. And so, knowing that the Thanes of the North Veritas farming region were sort of trying to take over the land on the Stegador Peninsula to sort of have access to that to enhance their profits, and then you wind up in North Veritas and seeing the attempted assassination of a Thane, things started to click a little bit for you into some of the things that you've read. And one of the things that now begins to make sense when you hear Gleanersville is that there was a battle that took place right outside of Gleanersville where the town was actually part of that battle. And then one of the significant things about that battle, it is one of the battles that ended the war. And in Gleanersville, there was a man by the name of Zern. Zern was a Thane, and Zern's last name was Darwich. He died in that war.
No fucking way.
The war.
I don't think I would say that to them until it's just us.
Right.
But these things begin to click
Yeah.
for you as Crix is sort of talking about, oh, I don't know, something with turtles.
No.
Right.
Holy fuck.
I am going to go downstairs with my newfound horn and my newfound chutzpah.
You're a fucking idiot.
I'm gonna congratulate my cat, give it a little kiss, put him back up in his little, treehouse,
You're gonna get worms.
and then I'm gonna
Are you
go
keeping
back.
track of this?
I'm gonna stomp downstairs as I do, like one step at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you come down, and you all hear the very noticeable footsteps of Tryphon coming down the
I'm gonna
stairs.
take that cue to leave. I'm gonna ask quickly: Is there like an abandoned library or a place with books around here?
Are you fucking kidding me? Have you looked around?
Oh, in this. Sorry, I'm just very distracted. Any other places?
Like what?
in this fucking town.
Yeah, we've
not
got
just this
14
building.
structures that are all shells.
Cool. Great. I'm going outside. I'm going to find another building.
All right.
I was also gonna walk straight out.
Well, in order to walk straight out, you kind of have to pass through the room that
Oh,
everybody's
100%. I'm gonna do it.
Well,
I'm gonna make direct eye contact with homeboy on my way out, and I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna walk out.
Well, he's kind of standing there as you approach.
I'm gonna give it a little tip of my metal horn to him.
He looks up at you, and as you're passing him by, kind of reaches up and he claps you on the back. And he's like, you know, Tryphon, there's no hard feelings. It's like, I'm not sure what you're so upset about, but, you know, if you haven't realized, we're on the same side now. And by the way, not sure what you're planning on doing with the horn in your bag. I mean, maybe you get your friend to glue it back on for you, okay, but I will say this. I'm gonna let this one go. Something you should think about, right, is if that was still attached to your head, you'd be a corpse. So in a lot of ways, me taking that from you is your payment to me for giving you all of this. Wait, oh, don't say it. I know you're really pissed off right now.
No, weirdly enough, Trayvon is smiling.
Okay, good. That's my boy, right there.
Thanks, Chris.
You got it.
And then I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Live, laugh, love goblins. Am I right, guys?
All right. So, Bran, anything?
I'm just hanging out.
You just having your food?
Just having food.
Okay. You do notice that on occasion, the goblins that have been serving you and the goblins that were on the walk have cast you a couple of glances. There's something about your presence that seems to either spark, it's more curiosity than suspicion, but you get looks, and honestly, you're a pretty ragtag group of people, but you get some pretty interesting looks.
Not surprised. I'm different.
I'm not like the other boys.
We're not.
Not like the other
Christ.
risky businesses.
All right, so the house next door has been put together for you. There are really some shabby beds that are filled up with hay, some crude blankets thrown over them. Two of the goblins actually managed to get a fire going in the house, and honestly, half of the smoke billows out the broken chimney. But
Is there a roof?
it'll do. There is a roof, but it's not whole. There are open sections of it, but the good news is the weather seems fine.
Is there like a specific bit of the roof that looks specifically sturdy that I can just like stretch out on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah. I'm gonna go back to my little like lizard ways of resting. I'm gonna take a nap. And I'm gonna just climb onto the roof and just kind of like stretch out like a lizard.
Okay. You're outside.
I'm outside.
You see everybody emerge and kind of get led over to this other structure. Eventually you see
Noted.
Thyla out on the roof, stretching out on the roof of the house. What are you doing?
So what building, like, what was the vibe of the building that I just came out of?
Well, it looks to be Crix's house.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And the vibe basically is a stone house,
Right.
wooden roof. It seems to be the house that's in the best shape.
Okay. Of the other buildings, what looks more like what might have been like a town hall or some sort of hub for people, not just like a house?
So I think a better description of this place,
Right.
rather than me calling it a town, is more of a village.
A village.
Right? It's a lot of houses and structures that seem like they were residential.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't look like there's a smattering of commercial buildings or town buildings or anything like that.
Right.
And if there was, because you do notice that there are some foundations around as well, that from buildings that were obliterated. They
Right.
were not much larger as you glance about, but there isn't anything really like that. Now,
Okay.
there is one house as you come into town that's significantly larger than all the rest.
Yeah.
However, it's in terrible shape.
It's in terrible
been
shape.
like obliterated. Yeah.
I'm gonna peek into, with this in mind, I'm gonna peek into whatever windows I can, and see if there are, any more like old books that look highly organized or interesting. I'm in the seek of knowledge, and I just don't want to be in Crix's house.
Okay.
In the seek, yeah.
Okay.
I'm in. I don't remember.
There, you look in the windows of this one building, right? There is a glow of light from inside this building, and you sort of creep up slowly and just press your head up a little bit, and there inside there is a small lantern burning, and there's 4 goblins sitting in a circle on the floor of the house, and they appear to be playing some kind of game. They've got all these bones arranged on the floor, and then they've got 2 stones that appear to be carved almost like dice, and they're throwing them and scooping some of these bones up and trading them, and a couple of them are like punching each other, and they seem to be having an enjoyable time. So at the risk of getting caught, you decide to pop down from that window, and you come around the bend to the far side of the house, and you poke your head up in that window. That room has nobody in it, but you do notice that there are a few crates inside the house that appear to be open and heaped with old junk. So anything that might have maybe been salvaged from the house looks like it might have just all been thrown in these crates.
I'm going in.
Okay.
As you should.
Now there isn't much in the way of glass in these windows. What little glass there was, most of it has been broken, so it's not hard to actually climb right through.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. I'm gonna peek through and see if there, like either anything in general that would catch my eye, but specifically books. Circe's in a book mood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you heard the bit in the kitchen at Crix's house that this was a Galapa-related situation, or that it was likely that Galapa lived here. And Galapa were often regarded, I'm not sure if you would know this or not, but since you are in the pursuit of knowledge and you are kind of more of a scholarly type in this regard, Galapas are often scholars.
Right.
So you start to kind of rummage through the boxes, and it's really just a lot of tattered fabrics that are moldy and rotting and falling apart, and as you are moving them, there's actual visual dust that's like coming up in the air.
Sort of holding my breath.
Yeah.
Only shallow breaths if I need.
You get to the bottom of this box, and you're kind of like losing hope. But you do find a rough, dried, cracked leather, thin book.
Yes.
And you remove it from the box.
Knowledge.
And you open the book up, and it says just 2 words on the inside. Now there's obviously writing in here. This book is ancient.
Right.
But the 2 words written in a beautiful calligraphy on the opening page, which is yellowed and is cracking and falling apart and dried. 2 words. On time.
On time. Oh. I mean, can I flip through it more?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is? Oh, what do I see? What do I?
There is a very highly flourished calligraphic writing in this, but it is someone's notes and research on the studies and the passage of time, days, the planets, observations about how time moves. That's about all you can glean from just a quick glance.
I'm gonna
no pun intended on Gleanersville.
Bring it back to that house, and basically I'm just gonna stow that in my bag.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna like climb back out the window, back around the house the side I came, and walk back to the house. First thing I do when I get in the door is I'm just gonna go find wherever Remy is and just get settled into a bed and crack that bitch open and read as much as I can.
Okay.
As that was happening, before
sorry.
Throde had got to the house, could I have like... Yo, Throde, come here. I'm like down an alleyway being fucking weird as shit.
You notice this.
Yeah.
As you walk up, I'm gonna fucking toss the horn to you.
Catch the horn. Look at it. It's hollow. Yeah. I can't remember.
It makes me really uneasy when you do that. I'm like,
So, Todd,
stop your fucking heart, man.
Right?
Can I
really
yours?
quickly.
Yeah.
It's my fucking horn. It's my fucking horn.
So it seems that our friend has. What I know of a lot of different magics is that most things cost.
Oh, it's definitely
So-
freaky as fuck up there. You had a whole like cacophony of teeth and remains and bones, and there were candles. I blew them out.
You blew out the candles, huh?
Of course, fuck that guy.
Did you do anything else in the room?
No. Well, I didn't.
What did your cat do in the room?
Oh, how did you know?
You just have a juvenile, mischievous look on your face, and your cat seems
think
to
they
have
have a
an itchy
name.
butt.
I think they have a name.
What's their name?
Worm.
Cunt and mother.
More importantly, Third. More importantly.
You blew out the candles.
No, well, fuck that. More importantly,
Yeah.
I'm thinking we reattach this somehow.
What else was on the wall where your horn was?
Okay, I feel like you want to go back to that. So we're going to go back to that and then come back to what I said. This other stuff that was on the wall was bones, teeth, smelly things. And there was what seemed like another like minotaur skull in the center of the ritual thing.
And do you remember much of the night that Crix cut your horn off?
I was in and out, if I'm being honest. I had just like come back to life.
Have you noticed anything else about all the other creatures that were around?
What do you mean?
That
they're all missing shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you see any kind of connection to that?
Seems like a price initiation type thing. A lot of,
I
gangs
don't know
do
that it
that.
necessarily is an initiation, more so if these were all hung totematically, then maybe they were things that were offered to Crix's deity in order to bring you back to life.
I don't think all of that was for me. It's a little bit narcissistic.
I don't think all of it was for you if there were other bones and other teeth and other horns.
I'm not saying it's not an offering piece,
were
but
you
I
in the
don't...
room when he was talking about this tiefling that his only has one horn?
No, I didn't hear shit.
Did you see any horns that looked like they might have come off of the tiefling?
There were hundreds.
There were hundreds.
So what I'm gathering from all of this is that this is a bit of the way he operates,
Yeah.
and perhaps it's not something for us to fuck around with and find out whether or not us trying to reattach this horn to you.
You think there's something wrong with my horn?
I think the reason you're alive is because you don't have it on you.
I was
Anymore.
alive. I was alive when he took it off. I was already
Yes,
back.
but you were dead first.
Yeah.
And maybe the price for you being alive was...
Well, that's a jump. That's a reach through.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. I get my horn back and you want to shit on my fucking parade like this. Why?
I'm not
They're fighting.
shitting on anything. I'm just trying to put things together. I'm thinking about things. What I just had the conversation about what he wants us to do. He wants us to go into these tunnels and find this tiefling who is raising dead, who has only one horn. I see the head of all of his goblins has one husk. I see all the other goblins are a part of the group, and they only have one horn. They referred to Remy as the two horns.
No, I get it.
So I'm putting the math together, huh?
But what do you think it means?
I think some things are better off left alone. You're here, you're standing, you're still fighting. I think we need to go get whatever we can deliver our thing to Corey, go and do this cleanup thing with the undead people that are under there and this weird tiefling thing, and then we move on.
And then, if it's not weird, and there's no like price for me having the horn, maybe we do something with it.
Like what? Make it the drinking horn? What's wrong with your metal horn, huh?
I think we could do a lot of things.
Do you want 3 horns now all of a sudden?
Maybe. Or put it on the back of the hammer.
Ooh, that's cool.
Well, can we at least see what negative effects there might be to you blowing out candles and taking things off of a shrine?
I'm okay with that. I could do that.
All right then.
Thrub. You do be thinking a lot.
Well, there's not that many things that don't require some thought.
All right. Yeah, that was a confusing sentence, but okay.
It's a product of my northern dialect. I don't always speak in order of things.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your depth of thinking.
I appreciate your brashness and action without thought.
Look at that.
It always makes something interesting.
Look at that.
Yes. Okay.
Quick thing, Todd.
Yes.
Very, very, very quickly.
Yes.
We want to make it abundantly clear that in looking for space on the roof to lie down on, I wasn't, for at least the rest of the day, looking for a place to rest.
Right. I'm listening.
I was looking for a place to watch.
So you've done this?
I kind of want to survey as much of the local area as possible and keep an eye on whatever was happening.
Okay.
So if I hopped up, would I have bore witness to that conversation and Cersei going in to explore?
Yeah, I would say you would, because
Okay,
you were up there. Cersei saw you go up there, so you would have naturally. There's not a whole lot to look at in this space, so
Okay.
you would have watched that. Yeah.
Okay. And I am aware of that conversation that just transpired.
Yeah, you probably would have heard that below because it's right below you in the house.
Yeah.
So I think
Cool.
that's fair.
Wonderful. I just want to make sure that I am aware of things that are happening.
Yes.
Are
Great.
you?
I'm sorry, Nathan. You wanted to say something before, and I missed that.
Yeah. I'm sort of Remy. Are you in bed currently? Okay, cool. So I'm sort of sitting, like laying down. Oh god. Okay, sitting on the bed, flipping through this. This is more of like a comfort habit. Having grown up in like my parents' academy and the libraries, and I'm sort of just I'm looking for just like interesting facts, flipping through things. But is there any evidence of an author I might recognize, since I've been through a lot of literature in my time growing up?
Why don't you roll a intelligence check for me?
Cool. I'm actually gonna roll this. Oh yeah. How's on? Where's my... Oh. Understood. That's a 17.
A 17.
Yeah.
All right, so you're flipping through this book. No, there's no reference to an author that stands out to you.
Gotcha.
But you are sort of taking careful note of certain things. There seem to be references in there to some formulas that you don't really understand, mathematical formulas that seem to deal with the planets. But then something catches your eye, which is really kind of interesting. And it's the number 2470. 2470. And then you see that another number, which is 2472. But the odd part about that one is it's arranged like a date. 2472. 2472.
2470, 2472.
But here's what's really odd about that. You recognize those as dates, right?
Right.
It's the year 2410.
Oh. Interesting. Are there other dates that appear?
As you start to scramble and look through the book, you notice that many of the dates written in this book are beyond the one you're in.
Wow.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's
You're a
Wow.
sick fuck,
With
dude.
fucking time turtles?
You're a sick fuck.
turtles.
Of course.
Our music is provided by Pocket Bard, which we love, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. We love you. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week. Take care.